is in this conversation we are trying to figure out how we can repurpose the Livecast for the purpose of getting, like, we've got our best quality content that is being recorded, and we want it to help reach more people, and we want to cut it up, chop it up into smaller sections, and give it to people incrementally. I'm down for just about like any length, except for I don't want to give an entire like. Well, anyways, we can get into that, but micro content. How can we turn micro content from the Livecast in the easiest possible way? And we're seeing how one of the greatest problems we faced in 2020 was spending way too much time in creating the Livecast and not enough time in distributing it. So we want to spend, the goal here is how can we spend 80% of our time during the month in repurposing and distributing the Livecast, as opposed to what we have been doing is doing 80%, 95% of our time creating the Livecast slides, presentation outline, all that stuff. Welcome Sister Rebecca and Sister Susie. We are looking at the Notion page from the Enlist Volunteers text channel. You can click the link there, and this is where we're taking notes. Glad you guys are able to join us.
Okay, thank you.
Praise the Lord. And so this is what the purpose of our conversation is today. So I want to know, so far, what has been going well with repurposing the Livecast? What have we been doing good so far? Let's start there.
I would say quitting content. That's like one of the main things.
I agree. I completely agree. And
getting it recorded.
Yeah, Cameron's been doing good with recording it. That's half the battle. Yes, and then Kim's, I believe, has been turning the quotables into quote cards, and she's been scheduling them too, so that's been very well.
Oh, that's good.
That's been a blessing. And is there other ways we've been repurposing the Livecast?
Well, the Bible readings.
Photos.
Oh, yeah, the Bible readings. Those have been going extremely well. Guys, did you know? Diana counted them Tuesday. And we've got about like 65-ish people attending weekly.
And another way we've been doing it is you're doing our daily live casts, and they've been becoming the
so that's like preparation. Daily live
live
videos.
videos have become the live casts.
Yeah, those are practice. But that's not really repurposing the Livecast. That's more of...
Well, it almost is. It's kind of like backwards.
It's the opposite of repurposing. It's preparing for...
It's backwards. We're still using pieces of the content.
Yeah, the frameworks and things. It's true. That's good. Oh, and another thing that I found was helpful was, and it's not really so much with the Livecast, although we could, but when I was doing daily live videos, there's been times where I've recorded videos, like a story post right afterwards, and Instagram allows me to do 15 seconds, which is under a minute, and which on TikTok I could put those 4 clips and create a TikTok video, which is like an Instagram reel,
Nice.
and those have been getting hundreds of views, several thousand total on TikTok. So that worked pretty well.
That's really nice.
Turning story posts into TikTok posts. But the adding the background photos and editing the video on TikTok, that I realized that was extremely taxing, and it's not sustainable for me to keep doing that.
No.
It's easy to do. But
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so it's about repurposing the Livecast content,
Yeah.
and So I had a question because I know that you said you were trying to post reels on Instagram, but you weren't able to. So I logged into the Army Views account, and my question is, when was the last time you updated the Instagram app?
I don't know where the feature is. I'm not saying that it's not there. I'm just not sure where it is. I don't know. It
Well,
seems like it.
usually,
It doesn't come up for me either. So the same problem.
Yes, I'm glad Kim showed up. Welcome, Kim. So, the last time I updated, I don't know. I think it updates regularly.
Does it update itself?
A lot
Like
of
it
times.
comes and it disappears. Defeat you.
Well, then you
yeah,
change
for me it
to
looks
that.
like it was like the version before they came up with reels. Like it was like an old version. So I was wondering like maybe it's updated or something. So I was just wondering.
I could look to update it. That's a good suggestion. I appreciate that. So we don't want to spend too much time on like what's been going well. We've got some good things that has been repurposing. Now I want to know, like, I guess if we go through kind of like the intentional planning process, the first step is visualize, the second step is prioritize, and then third is organize, and then actualize. We can go out and do that. So if we kind of go through that, the second question is like, what could be the easiest and most sustainable ways to repurpose a livecast consistently on a monthly basis? This is a kind of sloppy list of what could we do. Not necessarily we're going to do this. We don't want to spend a lot of time here. We want to spend majority of our time prioritizing and organizing and actually making a plan. But we want to think like in terms of what we're already doing and what we could do. That's easy. That's within our skill set and commitments of the people that are here and our unique talents. What would we be the most interested and fulfilled in participating in? And I think it's good also to create like a to don't list, because this will help us temporarily to just recognize the things that we are not going to do at this time. So we have realistic expectations. And honestly, right now, it sounds like we are not going to do transcripts. Unless we paid like $30 for them or something, 35, which we could do that too. Does anyone have any suggestions? What we're already doing is Bible readings. We could put those down there. Those have been going very well. Because we also want to consider, like, in terms of our resources, we have resources of time, money, influence, people, skills, knowledge. Like, so these are the resources we have, and we have these, limited resources here. So we want to, like, how are we going to allocate these resources? Tina, why don't you speak?
Because no, I can speak. Why don't we? What if we would like use the slides, like the full verse slides, and just like have like a quote on it, and like have them as like quote cards.
I think that'd be great.
Would that work?
Yes. It should work really well.
I mean, we could do a variety of different ways, but that would be like one of the easiest ways to do it.
And yes, and there's a very, very simple way to change the aspect ratio of a Google slide presentation to fit the shape of Instagram, and all we have to do is just add the words. Just change the words, and then boom, you have a beautiful, relevant background photo. It's already chosen, and the color's there. It could be simple, but I think a variety of quote cards works, because what I'm realizing is on Instagram, what we want to have is pattern interrupts, because when people get stuck on a pattern and they gloss over things, but when ours looks really different than before, then it catches their attention and hooks them.
Like
Yeah,
black and
that's
white
what-
photos, right?
What were you saying, Rebecca?
Like black and white photos, it kind of makes them stop because all the photos are color.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, black and white
also-
photos. Go ahead.
Another thing is that we could start putting our quotes on Twitter too. That would increase the content, and a lot of people like take that and use it as quote cards. That could be a pattern into too.
Yeah, we could schedule them on TikTok. I'm concerned with TikTok. In order to grow on TikTok, what we have to...
Sorry, not TikTok.
I'm sorry, not TikTok, Twitter. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitter.
I'm concerned to grow on Twitter, we have to like interact, engage, and retweet other people too. And I'm wondering like,
Oh.
who do we have that would interact and engage on Twitter rather than just like posting on there where it's not seen by anybody, but
Don't they have hashtags?
Yeah, they do.
yeah,
People would see it.
you're right. People would see with hashtags. Yeah, they would see with hashtags.
You know something else we might be able to do?
What?
Is put together a what are they called? Screensaver with our quote cards, and to give them away for like a gift for doing something, or sharing or something.
Okay. Yeah, we could put that down there. The thing about that too is that the purpose is marketing, it's awareness, it's spreading far and wide, and that's not very scalable, and that's given to it. It's more effort for less reach. But we can make screensavers.
We already have one, but for them sharing the screens, that something of importance, they get their screensaver. So I'm saying that's good.
Yeah. Another thing too is Rebecca said framework photos. I realized that the framework. I think it was Gary Vee or someone was saying that Instagram's talking about removing the likes, so they won't have the metric there anymore. And they've been talking about that for like over a year. And if likes were removed, then the next thing we have to test is basically how many saves people got. And if we want to encourage people to save the posts,
Wait, can you even see those if they do?
we can if they save our posts. You can't if you're viewing our posts. So that social proof wouldn't be there. But as far as metrics for us to know,
like, the framework photos get saved more because they have like meaningful quotes, but in a kind of swipe gallery file sometimes.
exactly.
Oh, is it because we have a business profile? Or whatever it's called?
Probably. Yeah, because business profiles lets us see analytics. I would encourage you to upgrade to a business profile on Instagram too, so you could see a lot more stuff that way. It helps.
We have some frameworks like that. I guess we're not talking specifically about this time, but like we have some frameworks in this presentation.
Yeah. Well, we can use specific examples to get like general concepts.
Yeah, like slide 10.
Tina,
I can do all things.
about how
Have
many?
any of y'all seen Live Your Impossible, I think, framework photos?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Is it an Instagram page?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, can you tag me in one of their posts?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Thank you, and I'll follow them if you think they got good photos. But Tina, how many frameworks do you think that there are per livecast presentation on average?
I think we're using more and more.
At least 4.
No,
I said at least.
I know you did.
I'm not sure what to say.
If you had to
I know
guess.
there's 2 that are like very visual on this one.
You said 2?
I know there's more than that.
Kamran, about how many frameworks would you say that there were per Livecast? About? If you had to
3.
guess.
There's 3.
At least 1.
4.
Susie, can you help? Susie, about how many frameworks do you see? You've probably had your eyes more hyper aware looking at them because you look for frameworks. How many frameworks have you seen for the Livecasts on average?
I would say maybe 3 on average. At least that I've seen so far that I've paid attention to.
Okay, makes sense. So I would say on every Livecast that we have, for the exception of maybe like the first 5, we have about 10 to 15 frameworks per Livecast. And they are filling the speaker notes and the slides with, there's a lot of frameworks. And there's things called embedded frameworks where we have frameworks within frameworks. And
So maybe you need to help us identify them more.
yeah, I want to know how I can help more because one evening on the framework photos I sent some 15-second clips where I was talking to the group and I was like, hey, this is a framework, look at this framework, all in one slide. I brought up like 8 to 12 or something different frameworks on one presentation. So I'm not sure what more I could do. Can you guys help me out to help you to see all the frameworks? Because there's an abundance for every Livecast. There's a lot of frameworks in there.
I know meetings like this really help. Like when you're talking all together.
How?
It helps more than like a voice message or something like that.
Well, that's good.
And another way it helps is like when we don't understand something, we're not passed by because we don't understand, and then everybody gets a clearer understanding. So let's go over what a framework is.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is a lot of our content creation has to do with frameworks. If we find a framework that works well on, say, Facebook, like we got a Facebook video that was like 6 reasons to step out of your comfort zone for Christ. That one blew up. It's one of our best performing videos that we've done since we started 80 videos ago. And that's a framework that could go, that's an indication for us. Our audience is saying, hey, make a framework photo. Hey, make a carousel photo. Hey, make a slide presentation out of that. Or hey, put that on a Livecast. They're telling us, they're voting with their engagement that resonates with them and we should do more on it. That should be a microblog. They're saying to repurpose that framework into multiple formats. And it's just 6 steps of, or 6 reasons to step out of our comfort zone.
So that a framework is a way that we could repurpose our stuff? Is that what you're saying?
Frameworks are a way that we could repurpose our stuff. A framework, I would define a framework as like a step-by-step to get a specific result. So anytime that you see a list, you see bullet list, you see
So like a listicle?
A listicle are all frameworks.
A checklist?
A checklist is frameworks.
What if we bring up that?
All of the actual steps in the Livecast, those are frameworks.
Why don't we bring up the notes of the frameworks that you shared with us already?
What do you mean the notes of the frameworks?
You said that you already did did something to show us what frameworks were, and if
I guess what we could do. How many of you were? How many have not watched the live cast yet from yesterday? Kim, have you been able to see it?
I think she was on live.
Me, I have not. I haven't
Okay.
listened to it yet.
Okay, so Rebecca hasn't. What about you, Kim?
But I plan to listen to it today.
Oh, okay, praise God.
it's
Su-
really good.
Susie, have you been able to listen to it? Oh, there you are, Kim.
Susie was on live.
Yesterday, already best.
Oh, you watched it. Praise God. Okay, good. So it sounds like everyone here has either watched it or will watch it today. That's good. So what I want to do is I want to open up, if we can, the livecast slides. Maybe this will help us. So number 9 is a list to the livecast slides on Notion. You could just click it real fast. Click, click. I could also send it on the Enlist Volunteer on Discord, wherever it's easy for you guys to access. Hopefully we're all looking on Notion as we're following along, because that helps us all stay on one page. But maybe what I could do, we can go through this and see different ideas of how we can repurpose this content while it's in front of us. It would make it easier. And Tina,
You said number 9
of the
Oh, I
Notion
see.
page,
Okay.
yeah, I added the link.
I got it.
This is an example. And Tina, I would probably, like for me, what I'm going to do is I have Discord open, but I have Notion on a separate window, and I got the livecast on a separate window, so I could toggle back from the livecast to the notes, so it'll be easy to take notes. And
Yeah, that's what I have to.
and you may want to take screenshots. If you can, take screenshots of examples as we talk about it. It'll probably help the notes make more sense.
Alright.
So, okay, now a framework. Now, first of all, slide number 4. This slide alone would probably do well as far as engaging people. If we ask them on a scale from 1 to 10, how clear is God's will to you? And they can let us know what number they're at. And ask them like, hey, if you'd like to better understand the will of God, reach out to us, and we can send them a link to a daylight video or something. Like this would be a good thing to repurpose, and we could post. I think people would appreciate. We could experiment with it, should I say? Core values. I'm trying to look. I'm on slide 6. Like slide 7. Slide 7 is a framework. Why are core values important? Why is it important to know your core values? And that could be a hook. And the story is a framework. It's like core values help you make decisions instantly to determine your friends, and determine your life partner, determine the organizations you unite with, the causes you financially support, the mission you dedicate your talents to. This is what core values help with. So like that's an example of like a framework or why. The slide number 10, that's a framework.
That's a framework?
That's a framework.
Wow.
I posted that yesterday, and people really enjoyed that. And I literally just took that, I copied and pasted it, and that was the microblog, Susie.
Yeah.
There wasn't really much editing to it. And that's,
Yeah, I knew that was going to be a framework.
that's good. And then you look down below, it says discovering your identity in Christ. I listed out 80 identifying statements from the scriptures, who Christ says that I am, and then give the assignment to go through and create a list of 25.
That's the offer.
That's the offer. That's the assignment. That's the BAFA, book an assignment from an assignment. That's the actionable step. That's the checklist in the worksheet. That is that could be a note in the Bible reading. This is, you see that there's a lot of ways we can use this here.
So then, if I understand it, anything that you list could be
Yes.
okay.
Wherever you see a list, you can turn it into a framework, or it already is a framework.
Okay.
IPP.
Yes, and yeah, IPP. Oh yeah, this intentional planning process. Absolutely, it's a framework, and we have all the Bible verses. A lot of the frameworks we use consistently, we have like verses already connected with it that you can just use. Like on the leadership table for slide 12, there's verses already connected with these, and even slide 13.
Here's the verse.
Slide 13, there's a framework. See these commas where it says brainstorm, possibility, sloppy list, dream, no limits, use your sanctified imagination.
No limits.
That can be a framework. You could say brainstorm what you could do. Think of your possibilities. Create a sloppy list. Just add a verb in front of these.
Go dream.
Yeah, like, and dream. And it's like, don't limit God. This is an opportunity to see what could your core values be. Or it doesn't have to be core values. It could just be like, what could you do for the Lord? Or what could be your core talents? Or what could you study in your devotions to be intentionally? Or what? It's like trying to determine the will of God. Just look at like what are your options? How to not wait for opportunities but create them. And you just this is your visualize the possibilities. So it's just like we can create a hook, and we could add a verb to some of these different like brainstorm options, think of possibilities, create a sloppy list, like dream as you go through here, and it's just showing like where there is no vision, the people perish. And you could even say like go through the 7 areas of life. That verse could be a framework where it's like, what is your vision? And you just put it into questions. Questions really transform people's lives. What is your vision for your family? What is your vision for your health? What is your vision for your relationship with Christ? What is your vision for your finances? What is your vision? Without a vision, your finances will perish. Without a vision, your family will perish. Without a vision, your friends will perish. And so you just like, that could be a powerful post, framework, microblog, a daily life video. That could be, it's a framework within a framework. Is this making sense? We're only on slide 13.
Yes.
And how many slides are there? There's 85 slides.
195.
No, 85.
Oh.
We deleted them on. But hopefully this is making sense. Like, and also within Visualize, I gave a 4 question framework. So question 14, this is the way how to visualize what could be your core values. How to determine your core values. This is for the worksheet. Number 1, what are the 3 most important values I want to pass on to my children? And I gave you a proof text right there, Susie, and Kamran for the worksheet. And then the second question, slide 15. What does God value in His Word? Let me value that. So this is, and you could bring up a Bible verse. It could be anything. I delight to do Thy will, or it could, man shall not live by bread alone. Matthew 4:4. That could be it. And then the third question, slide 16. When you consider your friends, what are their core values? That could be that's like a step 3 in the framework of how to visualize your core values. And then slide 17, step 4 in the framework is, what is something you've always craved but didn't receive? And I gave the example in the video about how I always craved acts of service, but I didn't receive that. And that's what I value most, and it's precious. And some people have, like parents that yelled a lot and they had chaos in the family, so they always craved comfort and
silence,
and they clarity and things like that. So that's another question. And so there you have it. You have 4-step framework to brainstorm what could be your core values. Does that make sense?
Amen.
That's going on the worksheet.
I hope so. That would be wonderful. And what's really powerful, I hope you see this, Susie, and well, we've talked about it too, and others, that now that we know that they're going to be repurposed into a Bible reading, we are putting them together in Bible reading format before we go live in the Livecast. It's not an afterthought, it's beginning with the end in mind. So the more people that are involved in like getting started on these, we're being intentional about how can we use this through repurposing. So as we're involved in repurposing, in whether it's a Bible reading or a microblog or it's a quote card or it's a something else, in the beginning, the more involved we could be, we're thinking, how could we repurpose as we go? And this photo right here, too, this could be, well, actually, let me go to, all right, slide 16.
56.
Slide 16 could be, you are the quotable. You, instead of like this verse, he that walketh with the wise man shall be wise.
Oh, you
We-
can just like take that and change it.
Yeah, we can hit
Words.
duplicate. I created a duplicate real fast, and it's literally this fast where you are an average. Now, of course, there's some other stuff to do to it, but you're an average of the top 5 voices you spend the most time with.
Bam, that's a
Oh,
quote
that's
card.
nice.
Top 5 people. It's
Oh,
a quote
that's
card,
nice.
just like that. And then, and there you go. And it's something that simple. And then if you go to like File and you go to Document Details, you go to File, Document Details. No, not Details.
File, download.
No.
No?
File, Page Setup.
How about make a copy?
File,
Oh,
Page
yeah.
Setup, and you go to Standard or Custom, whatever you want.
Oh, that's nice.
And then, boom, they're all in the size that you want it.
Well, bam.
Exactly. That's cool.
You see what I did there?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you made it square.
Do you see it, Tina? Kim,
Yeah.
especially Kim, since you make quote cards. And I know this isn't exactly, how do I say, it's not exactly like Canva,
That's better.
but I believe that the more we can get acquainted with both, then we can start producing a lot more content faster, and it doesn't have to take as long. And we have the speaker notes. I think the speaker notes, the outline, is going to be one of the best things that we can do if we train our mind not to be dependent exclusively on the transcript, but train our mind to learn how to read the outline and what the outline means to us, not just like this fragmented thoughts, but you listen to the presentation and you see the outline, you're like, whoa, what are all the possibilities that I could turn this into? And start seeing the repurposing of content.
And that's nice because it's like a little reminder of people who have came and then they reread that and they're like, wow, they get to remember it.
Who came to the live cast?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
they'll be thinking about it. Gary Vee says, content is a mindset. My content is a mindset. So we have to have that mindset of seeing content in different areas. Rebecca, you
Yeah.
wanted to say something? And then Cameron?
What? No,
Did you want to say
I
that?
just said yeah.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah.
Rebecca, did you want to say something? I saw you unmuted yourself. I am. Okay, thank you. Sure. Kimberly, are you in a place that you're... Oh, I know it's late over there, so...
Oh, this changed the aspect ratio for the whole slide presentation.
Yeah, for the whole slide. So what I would do is probably create a copy and just like add the title like quote cards or something like that. And then we could adjust, modify, and change anything we want. That'd be so much
yeah.
faster.
And we can put that in the Livecast folder.
Yeah, we can put it in the Livecast folder. That would be great. We can link this. We can link this on Notion too to the whatever the presentation we're switching. We can link it there for the quotables. But what's cool about this too is once you change everything you want, you go to File, and then you go to Download, and you can download everything. Oh no. Select everything. When you select all the files, then you go to Download.
PNG.
Yeah, you could, no, it's probably export. Dear Lord, please help me.
Export.
Like a copy, import.
Oh, you mean to make a copy?
No, there's a way that you can download everything at once, and it downloads all the images into a folder that you could use and print. It's really cool. I have a video showing how to do it. It's one of the first videos on the Army of Youth AOY organization, that YouTube channel. So, well, at any rate, I would really like to hear from Kim, because this is something I've been wanting. I hit Control Z and it's going to turn it back, the aspect ratio. But this is something I've been wanting the graphic designers to do for several years.
She might have fallen asleep.
Yeah, so you see how the slides are all the same now?
Uh-huh.
Are you guys able to like unmute yourself so it's easier for you to talk, especially if you guys don't have background noise? Because we're not recording for like public or anything, so it's okay even if you do have a little background noise.
Yeah, I'm just eating right now, that's all.
Oh, okay, I see. Well, I'm glad you're able to join us. Praise the Lord. Thank you for
Yes.
sacrificing to be here. Another question. So, an example, like slide 20. Slide 20 is a pretty solid slide. I think people would appreciate it. They're like, wow, I like that. Those are good values. And people could like resonate with that. And that right there could be a new form of content. See if people like that stuff. Actionable steps. This is a framework. It's like
there's the questions.
Finding your I asked Tina to put it over there to make it easier for you. But I want us all to be train our minds to search through the presentation. When we're looking at the presentation, we're not just thinking like, how does that apply to me, or why is that important? Or it's like, oh, that's a good question, and just go on. I want us to think in terms of worksheet, Bible readings, like what content can we turn this into, and how does it relate to my responsibility?
Maybe we should like make a list of different content and have that. I don't know, just have that, and then we could always like bounce it off.
Oh,
of
different
that
types of
list.
formats.
Yeah,
we have it. It's called Content Format Database. It's on Notion.
Oh,
There's a list. Cameron used it with getting worksheets, and him and Susie are going to go over it by God's grace. But yeah, we have that Content Format Database. It's a list of all the different types of content we can repurpose into. But what I want to do in this conversation is identify what is the content formats that we can commit to for now in this stage. It's going to take the least amount of effort. It's going to be like, it's just repurposing the Livecast. It's already like, we're already like 80% of the way there, just with a little bit of tweak and a little bit of effort and talent, creativity. Then we can have a new form of content, and it'll be easier rather than drastically transforming the way we do things. You know, some things take a lot more time than others. But I want us to see, how many frameworks do you think that we got in just the first teaching point? Just now.
Wow, that was some frameworks.
There's like 7?
Wait, did this one count as a framework?
Yes, that's a framework. That's a scale from 1 to 10.
Okay, so there's 1.
Tina counted 10. Yeah, so I'd say about 10. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact, but yes. So what we can find in the first teaching point, we had about 10 frameworks. And so...
And there's 4 of them.
And there's 4 what?
Teaching points.
4 teaching... and there's 4 teaching points, exactly. So if we kept it up, which it probably wouldn't be exactly like that, but that may be 40 different frameworks from one slide presentation.
Yeah, some teaching points have more than other teaching points.
Yeah, and some have less. But what is going to make the difference maker is your mindset, and whether you see possibilities, and how you train your mind to view content. That's going to make the difference whether you see it or not. So just pray and start asking different questions. Like as you read through, like, how can I turn this into a framework? How can I add, what can I add, or what can I adjust, or how does this apply to the context of my responsibility or my gift, my talent? How could I add my unique talent to twist this, repurpose this concept? And if we're asking those better quality questions, then I believe we'll be able to do more simply, and it'll be things that we love. All right, so I don't think we necessarily have to go through the whole slide presentation, but the purpose is to look at what are some ways that we could repurpose repurpose these. Nice, Tina, look at all those. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
I'm trying to. I kind of failed at putting them in the right place.
Well, the right place is wherever you put them. We are
Gathering information.
yeah, we're gathering information.
I wanted to put them in the toggle, and I ended up not putting them in the toggle.
Oh, well, you can select them all and highlight and move them up or something if you want. I don't know. You actually got a lot better notes than I took while I was talking, so that's good. I didn't take any notes.
There you go. I believe they're all in the toggle now.
Right on.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. Of course.
Well, grab those ones and put them in the toggle now.
Yeah.
You want some help?
I mean, you could close the toggle, then select
Grab the
them all.
ones.
I'll do
left,
this. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do now. I realize that's probably a little faster. There you go.
There you
Here.
go.
Thank
Did
you.
it. Good job.
Good job, Tina.
Yep, you did it.
I think I did that. I thought she heard me. So like some things that we could do, like I want to know, like based on who we have, what we have, what we know about our time schedule, you know, our knowledge, our passions, and oh,
What?
I don't know, Mom's sending me these hand signals. I don't know what she's trying to do. I don't speak sign language. Based on the knowledge that we have and time, what are the ways that we could do more with less effort? What's the 20% we could do that'll make 80% of the results? Something we could do consistently. And where do we see that we would need more team? More people to be involved, because there are some people that are like idle but they want to help but they need more clarity. And I realize that some of the areas, like we can throw out there, be like, oh yeah, let's have people to edit videos, but it's like unless any of us are like video editors, those video editors will need access to files, they'll need clarity on where to clip, what to do, they're going to need communication. So we have to think of leadership too, like influence. Who are the leaders that are able to kind of like communicate with certain people or create the system to make that happen? Because that's a big challenge we've been facing with just communication with the people who are willing, but they need clarity from you. You guys are some of the most clear people here, and a lot of them are coming to me, and it's really stressing me out. So I'm just thinking, we got to change the way we're doing it. I'm a bottleneck, and I don't want to be a bottleneck. I want to empower others to do things better. Yes, Mom?
Well, Shanicia, she said that she'd be willing to like post content.
Yeah.
And I could see, because of how fast Tina just put those together, that if we grab those and we put it somewhere so that it would feed over to Social Horsepower, and the ones that want to do something but they don't know what to do, we could either train them to feed, to set up people in the Social Horsepower so they could just check their email and share if that's what they want. And that I could see how that could really go out a lot throughout the month, because there's so many different frameworks.
Thank you for sharing, Mom. Go ahead, Tina.
What do you guys think of using the photos on the slides as like, because usually, I mean, this time we didn't really have so many photos, but we still have some pretty good photos. Using those as like for frame rate photos for the pictures, like even if you would not use, or I don't know how like they collaborate, or if you have people looking for photos on Relay Bat or stuff like that, or if that's like an issue.
I agree with transforming photos. It's just that when you turn it to a 1:1 ratio, it kind of pushes the background photo, which makes it look a bit weird.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't know how to prevent that, so
I know how to prevent it.
okay, good.
All you have to do is, it's the same way that when we put the photo on the slide, it looks weird, and we have to like double click and change the crop or
Yeah,
the
and
blue.
crop it out.
Yeah, the black bar. So when you crop it out, it fits perfectly and it doesn't squish the files. You just do that. I showed you that on like that was a quick run, but if I have a video on the very first videos that are on AOIO, like the very beginning, they show from beginning to end how to make it where they don't look squished, the text and everything fits, and it looks fine. And if you're on Canva and they have an aspect ratio, theirs is a little more sophisticated, but you're still going to have to adjust and crop things as well.
Doesn't Relay that fix it?
I also want to say, you asked me what teams or something I have to focus on, and I was thinking the video team and the frame of photo and the code card team, those produce like the most content out of all the other teams. And the transcript team, I'm not sure about that one, but yeah. Things to do with quoting content.
Yeah. It seems like quoting the quote cards are getting the least engagement on Instagram. And I don't know if maybe one thing that we can do with them is if there is better communication between like Susie and Kim on which quote cards are being scheduled, then Susie can use those quote cards to find microblogs. And if we added microblogs to the quote cards, maybe they'd get more engagement because if they like the photo, they'll read the microblog and then hear an offer.
I think so.
Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because the microblogs has hashtags with it, so it's like more engaging.
Yeah. It's
I
true.
think we spend a little too much time designing them because the more you can design, the better. But sometimes you see more of the decoration than the code.
Yeah. And this has been my thing for years with designers and quote cards. The time to produce, like I remember Parkinson's Law, work expands according to the time that we allot it. Like the goal is to have like 4 to 8 posts on Instagram a day, and we are not going to reach that if we take so long to create quote cards. We need to find a way that we could produce, like speed. Speed is the name of the game, and there's a quality in quantity, and the more that we do it, the faster and better we'll get. And the more quality things will be. And truly, quality is subjective. We don't really know what is quality because, like, who gets to decide what's quality content? Does anyone have an answer?
The people who look at it.
The viewers.
The viewers, yeah, it's not me, it's not us. We don't get to decide what's quality. The viewers, the market, the audience decides what's quality content. Because we have no idea what's quality until we put it out there. A lot of times we are saying no for our audience. And we need to stop saying no for them by thinking like, oh, this isn't quality enough, this isn't good enough, I got like, it's had imperfections or something. Let them decide. And the stuff that doesn't do good, nobody sees it. It doesn't bother them, it doesn't flood them up. Instagram, Facebook, their algorithms literally just do not show our stuff to our audience if our audience doesn't engage with it. So nobody is harmed, nobody is hurt by producing more content. It's just more opportunities for someone to say, hey, I really like that. Yeah. And it's the same thing with YouTube too. YouTube's changed their algorithms where, and I actually was on Clubhouse and there was literally, an employee from Instagram who works with Instagram, and they're like, what should we do with the timing of when we post? Should we post at this time or that time, or the frequency? Like, does frequently posting hurt our reaching our audience? And the dude flat out said, like, people talk about frequent, like the timing of when you're posting, but our algorithms are sophisticated enough that in all honesty, you could post 20 times in a day, and our algorithm is going to put it before your audience at the most opportune time for them, where they're most likely to engage. You could have posted something 3 or 4 days ago, and they will see it 3 or 4 days later because that's the best time for them, or they will drip your content to your audience out. And I was like, whoa. And he said, so the timing is like, that's literally like no part of the equation with the way that our algorithms work. That was straight from the horse's mouth. So he's like, put out more content.
Just keep pouring it out there.
Keep pouring it out there. That's what the
Leaves of autumn.
like the leaves of autumn. It's just indiscriminate. That's right. Leaves of autumn don't be like, well, let me just pour a little bit on this yard and a little bit under this tree. It just dumps everywhere. Okay. So how much time do we have for 12:15?
Yes.
Okay. We got to start prioritizing stuff. So what we have here is we got Bible readings. Susie, you've been very quiet. How would you say are the Bible readings going? Do you need more support or help? Do you have systems that could replace you? Success is not success without a successor. Should we allocate more resources and people to assist you in that? I'm sending people your way, and I'm not sure if, like, how engaged or helpful they're being. You said that Mo's helping you on one day, Kamran's helping another day, and you're doing it twice a week. But go ahead.
Well, right now, I mean, they've been going really good, and praise God that I've been finishing them on time. I've been completing my monthly goals, and so right now I'm in the process of training Sister Angela from Macedonia, and so very soon she's going to be helping out a little bit more with them. Right now she's like, everybody's having finals right now. So right now it's not the best time for her to work on them. But when she's done with her finals, she says that she wants to like devote all her time to working on these Bible readings. So
Really?
it's a blessing. So right now I'm just trying to get her familiar with it and how we do it and things like that.
That's awesome. That's exciting. I know she loves writing, and she's a thorough Bible student, and she's a clear communicator. So those are good qualities. That's cool. Okay, well, yeah, I realize my goal for the Bible readings, and I don't expect it like today, but my goal is to have the 4 Bible readings done within 7 days of the live cast. That way it frees people up. 1, they could see it in advance, but 2, or even before the live cast is, or maybe like I don't know. But it frees people up to focus more of their attention on repurposing other content, because I think the last minute, it's like Parkinson's law, work expands according to the time we allot it, and if we allot it less time, we can get it done in less time if we have the right systems and people in place to make that happen. So I want to encourage you to be thinking in terms of what would it take, what could we do to have 4 Bible readings done within 7 days of the live cast. That's when it's fresh in everybody's mind and it's easiest to remember what they're being talked about. And if we have a core group of people that just focus on Bible readings and they've honed their skill for that, then it could be a lot easier to move that forward. And I'm going to work with either Musa or Daniel within the next week, by God's grace, to cut up our live casts into teaching points and give our small group leaders access 1 month at a time 1 week at a time to listen to the teaching point for that week. And hopefully it'll be like 15-20 minutes. Just watch that, and then they can go through the Bible reading, and it'll make so much more sense to them. Hopefully.
That would be very, very awesome.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because it wouldn't have the question and answer in front. It wouldn't have the inner circle update, just the teaching point. Hook, story, offer. That'd be good. That's my hope, so pray for that. With these video editors, I know Josiah was reaching out to me today. Like, he wants to edit videos, but he needs someone to communicate with. He wants to know how to create real videos using the content fries. And he doesn't know what real videos are. Or TikTok. So that's education there. And people like that, I don't know what to have him help with in that regard then. Does anyone have suggestions?
Well, did he do the
Get the app and play around with it.
Get the what?
Usually that helps.
Get the app and play around.
Get the app and play around with it.
Oh, he's playing around with it.
Or watch videos on it.
He knows he created a meme video. I don't know if you guys saw it, but he created a meme video on there. I think what he did is he cut out the whole teaching point, which is not what I want. But I mean,
start.
So
it is a start.
So he needs guidance on what to keep and what not to keep.
Yeah. He needs guidance on what to keep. He needs guidance on what kind of content we have. And he needs guidance on the offer to put at the end of the video clips. So he needs that type of stuff. So my question is, how do you see that we could go forward with that? Because those are questions a lot of people have.
Well, maybe if we make a video on that, explaining it. Especially after today, because there's such an understanding of what the frameworks are and stuff, and how we could get them off of the Livecast.
Mm-hmm.
We could do a Loom video. Is that what they're called?
It could be Loom, ShareX, vMix. It could be any of those. But who would do that?
You?
No.
Okay, Tina?
I don't know how to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, Kathy.
Got it. Let's do it.
Ooh, she's volunteering.
Y'all
even.
be funny.
Mom, you're not being helpful right now.
Well, be happy.
Is that something that we could, that we would need to put on our to-don't list?
To don't?
Yes.
Not to do that?
Yes.
Well, what if, what is his name? The guy at Fletcher.
Fletcher
He
is
did.
not helping with the video editing, and he's going to have the exact same questions that Josiah has. And if we do not have someone who can help answer Fletcher's questions when they come, then I'm
Then
not
they
going
will
to
go.
put the influence to help him to do that.
They will come and they will go.
I don't even know what you mean by that.
That means that if they don't find fulfillment here, they'll leave. They won't be there anymore to help. That's what I mean.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Like, we see a problem, we're looking for solutions. How do we... Go
Would
ahead.
it be good to have for the code cards we have a volunteer description and kind of recruit people for those areas that they're interested in?
Mm-hmm.
Or would that be more work for less output?
I think it's important to have those. I think it will help tremendously. It's just if we do that, we will have to be
To know what to do.
yeah, we'll have to be clear on the, I guess, it will be more resources allocated to that role, and we want to make sure that that role is going to give the return on investment of our time, our money, and our influence and our knowledge. And yeah.
I understand.
Do you have any recommendations, Carmen?
Video editing?
Not even necessarily. Well, it could be video editing, or the problem is essentially new people coming on board needing direction, and it's basically taking on new things, requiring more clarity, but we either don't have people to give them clarity, or people who are, they're pretty maxed out. So what can we do to address this problem, to help involve people in something? So we should probably increase our to-don't list. That's what I'm saying about some of these things. We probably have to be clear on what we are going to do, what we're not going to do. I guess we could look at these. The next step in the intentional planning process, we visualize a list of possibilities. Let's prioritize. What can we commit to that we will do that's going to make the greatest difference? We definitely are going to do Bible readings. We'll continue doing that. Now, I really would like to hear from Kim, but I haven't heard from her. Because I think Kim is one of the main people who are making quote cards. I'm wondering if you see us being able to turn the slides into quote cards using Google Slides. Because it is a way we could very quickly get a lot more quote cards out. And I'm not saying exclusively or only, but I would say like maybe even like primarily, or putting a lot more attention into that area, or shifting. At least we could do it for like either a 2-week span or a month. We could do it for a Livecast and just say like, hey, for this Livecast we're going to put more attention into the quote cards through the slides, and we're going to see if that works, and at the end of the month we can go back and evaluate. We can analyze and revise if necessary, and then remobilize, and we can see what needs to be adjusted.
What if we got if all of us did one?
I don't think it's that good of an idea for all of us to do. We all have different gifts and talents, so it's not all for us to be a foot, or all of us to be the hand.
I was just thinking that if we all did one, just to see what it's, just to help out.
Yeah, I understand.
To see if it's something we could do.
I've tried that before. It takes a lot of effort for stuff that all of us aren't going to continue to do that. I'd rather have people with that skill and talent and passion to do those. What about you, Rebecca? You have more experience with Google Slides and quote cards, so you might be able to be. It might be easier for you to try to experiment with repurposing the slides. What are your thoughts on that?
I could try to do that. I just have to be clear what to do.
You have to be clear on what to do?
Yeah. Like how much we want to do each week, like stuff like that.
Oh, okay. So like measurable key results?
How to do.
Okay.
How much time do you have to devote to it? Out of curiosity.
Maybe. I could probably do an hour a day or so.
You get a lot done that way.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Rebecca.
Okay, so that's good. So, Tina, are you able to put Rebecca's name next to that? Another way that we could address this is those who have their hands heavily like entrenched in doing a specific thing already. We could send people in their direction, and the people who want to help just say, hey, we don't have someone right now who's able to take on, like, for instance, creating meme videos or proofreading transcriptions, but if you would like to help with this, and if one person has more commitment and knowledge regarding that, and they feel trusted enough to take risk and initiative and to exercise what they think would be ideal, then they could take them under their wing, kind of like Susie is with Angela or Angela. She pronounces it Angela. So if we had someone like Angela who wants to help, and we could say, what are the like this will-do list? Like, we're creating a will-do. We're prioritizing what's gonna have the greatest impact. What are we more capable of doing, and then we would know more clearly. Instead of thinking there's like 12 different ways we could repurpose, we could see, no, there's actually only 3. There's only 3 things that we can do right now, and so there's only 3 options to send people. You think that might be a better solution for mobilizing people?
If I understand, you just asked if we just stick with 3 specific things and set people up to do those.
The number was arbitrary. It was an example, but yeah, just once we prioritize, just say these are the only options. And then whoever's leading out with that, they can take them under their wings to train them.
I think that's good.
And we could see who's willing to take people under their wings to train them.
And who's willing to come to be trained.
Well, there's a lot. I know people who are willing to be trained, and I could pair them up. I just need to know who's willing to train people. And Susie says she's willing to train people for Bible readings. It's good.
Praise God. So what if we choose those 3 things, or 5, or however many we choose, and see who'd be willing to train in that particular area?
Okay. That's a great suggestion. Let's do it.
So
can you pull up your could-do list? This is what we're looking at. We're prioritizing. Which ones are going to be the easiest for us to do consistently? I'd love to hear from people.
So where's the could do?
But you guys are all muted. It's under what could be the easiest and most sustainable ways to repurpose the Livecast consistently.
I'm not muted.
I know you're not muted, Tina. I appreciate that. It's helpful. So, what could be the easiest and most sustainable way to repurpose the Livecast consistently? That toggle. When you open it, you see could-do list down below. There we go. There's Susie and Rebecca. And there's a will-do list up above. So we're looking at these...
How do I get out of the slides? It's like it won't let me get out of the slide.
hit back.
I exit.
And then you open up...
I definitely say that we should do the microblogs.
Back up. Goes back into it.
And Susie sounds like she's excited. My concern with with Shanicia and possibly and Susie too is that I know that Susie likes to write and she likes to do things and she's very committed and she has been faithful with getting her deadlines. I'm afraid people I'm afraid of people overcommitting, where they take on too much because they're willing and the spirit is willing, but the flesh and time and resources, practicality is weak. Like I know that the only way for us to do more is if we leverage the skill of influence. As we level up in our leadership, communication is the only way that we can outsource more resources. All the things that we desire to see happen, it can be accomplished through leverage.
Mm-hmm.
So the more that we prioritize communication and imagination, those top two levels of value, the third and fourth level of value, those things like goal setting for the team, not just waiting for goals like for like me to set numbers for you, measurable key results, or for me to tell you how many to do, or for me to like give you the vision to do, but for you to create a vision with your content, for you to create a vision, not just looking after your own time and your own effort, but the time and effort of others, Philippians 2:4. For you to create goals and set goals for those around you and help others. Like that is going to help you to leverage and do all the things that you desire, but are limited with your time. So the microblog, we could put the microblog up there. It's definitely it. Susie, you want to share something? If you're talking, we can't hear you. Are you saying something? Huh. Susie, can you try to say it again? I think we might be able to hear you better now. Tina, are you able to hear her?
No.
Oh, okay.
Must be something with hers then.
It must be something with Susie's then. Maybe sometimes leaving and coming back. What about now, Susie? Can you talk? Round 3. No?
I can't hear Amy.
Okay, thank you. Well, Sister Susie, it looks like 3 strikes, you're out.
No.
Oh no, okay, you're not out. Wait,
She's a keeper.
she's a keeper. Okay. Yeah, I was realizing too that some of these daylight video outlines have really good. They're like basically microblogs that you could just copy and paste and they're just done. They're ready. They're just snippets. Maybe turn into complete sentences on some already are. But even like that, if you guys were here for the leadership table, some of you were. Well, Rebecca, Tina was. Today, like a lot of the speaker notes there's a lot of frameworks taught in that one, and I mean they could literally just be like taken those, like there's like 7 lines, even just 7 sentences could be a microblog, just from one slide presentation, slide photo. She's gone, so pray for Susie. What else do you guys see? Like, what are we doing now, like, doing well? That we should continue. Like, I'm trying to understand where we should...
Well, the quote cards are well.
Yeah, quote cards are well. Are we prepared to have people to help with that? Tina, do you see yourself being able to help repurpose... to work with Rebecca to turn like the full verse slides into quote cards?
With Rebecca in doing that,
Yeah.
I think I could help with that.
Okay, that'd be good. I think the more you're involved with that, the better. Do you see yourself as being able to take on some graphic designers who may be interested in design to help with slide design? Or do you think that now is a hard time for you to train others?
It depends on how many people.
So, how many would it depend on? Like, what could you do? And keep in mind, this decision is progressive too. We could always analyze and revise it later. About 10 minutes left.
I'm not exactly sure. What I really need to do is make a list of all my responsibilities that I'm still doing over here to make sure I'm not overcommitted. But slide design is definitely a big part of it. So I would say yes, I can. What was your specific question?
Well, now I got two questions, but my question was, what do you see that helping with repurposing slide design or creating slide design? Do you see that's something that one of the big reasons of this conversation is to understand how we can practically reallocate the resources in the ministry of people, time, knowledge, things like that. So I'm trying to understand, are you willing or capable at this time to help for me to send some people who are interested in serving with graphic design to you to learn how to use slides?
What do you mean by learn how to use slides?
Or learn how to design slides, to basically to help take responsibilities off your shoulders and learn the things that you do or not, or like that are your responsibility to alleviate yours. Huh?
Take a shadow over.
Shadow, yeah.
Maybe like 2 people.
2 people? Okay. So another thing, like I'm constantly thinking in the framework of the 4 ways to communicate. There's audio, video, written, and pictures. So there's people who like the picture part, and honestly, you are more of the written part. And there are people who like to write. And I know it's like right now for me, I think the most dependable person who's a writer who could like take on people is Susie. So if someone says I'm a writer, I'm like, all right, go over to Susie and help her with Bible readings. So I want to know her capacity, but I want to make sure people are helping her. But I know that you're a writer and you have a lot of skill and ability in that regard. But I'm wondering, are you also, like, does that also include like someone to train on writing, like 2 total for writing or graphic design, or 2 in graphic design, 2 in writing, like, or do you see it as kind of a blend of both?
No, that would be too much. Training 4 people at a time.
So 1 in graphic design, 1 in writing. What does that look like to you?
I could try doing that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be the same if you train 1 as if you train 5 or 10?
It depends on if she's working with systems. She's working with systems, yeah. It's the same effort to train 1 as it is to train 10. But
yeah, the thing is, we have tried using systems. I don't know, and it still involves a lot of work. It's hard.
So, yeah, the very nature of trying is like accepting failure before we before we do it. So it's like a determination, like purposing in our heart that we're going to make it work. that's a lot different. We get different results that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm just saying we haven't come to that point that like if you just send them something and then they know how to do everything.
yeah, we never will as long as you're not thinking in terms of systems or you don't prioritize it when you work.
Yeah.
Ask a question.
What do you mean?
You know, when you're stuck in a situation, if you ask a question, the question will lead you to the answer.
Yeah, but that sounds random. I don't understand how that fits in the context of what we're talking about right now. I'm not saying it doesn't. I
Because
just
she said that she tried, and instead of thinking I tried, think of what. There's a way. What is it? I'm determined.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go.
To ask a question.
Definitely. Okay, so 2 people. That's good to know. And I'll say too, like the biggest issue, if you guys work with people one-on-one and just talk all these things over Discords and group calls or like calls, that's also going to be your major bottleneck of being able to work with people. You will always be limited. You'll train people, they'll leave. You'll get discouraged. And I can just say from experience, the more that you do that, the less people will learn. And this goes for anything you guys do. The more that you learn the systems and videos, you will have assets. You record your conversations and you use that for the next person and modify the system as you go. Whatever doesn't work, fix it. It's always a system problem. It's never the person. And then there's no limit to who you could reach and who you can train. But you will always be limited. You will be the bottleneck to the growth of the ministry. The more that is for all of us, the more that you just work with yourself or you work with one person or 2 people or something like that without systems. But that's a development growth stage, and I'm praying that we'll all overcome, we'll all grow. So that's good to know regarding the Livecast. So the big thing I want to say is like this month's Livecast, I do not want this to be over. This is the beginning, not the end. Like we did 20% of the effort last month. Now we get to do 80% of the effort this month in repurposing. And I'm glad that Rebecca and Tina will be able to work together and try and do this. And I'm going to be here to work together and trying to help with that too. Because this is where the majority of my attention and time and desire is how can we repurpose this stuff. So right now we have Bible readings and we have the slides.
I have to go, so...
Okay. Well, we're going to close in 3 minutes. So
Okay.
maybe we could close with a word of prayer here. Yeah, we can close in prayer. Rebecca, would you like to pray for us?
Sure.
Okay.
Our Father in heaven, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this meeting. Continue to open our minds and continue to give us clarity on how to move forward efficiently. Continue to build our efforts and guide and bless each and every one of us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Praise the Lord. Thank you everybody for joining. I'm really thankful for what we got accomplished here. And I look forward to the future. I think it holds good things in store for us.
Yes. Is there a chat where we can discuss more?
Is there a what?
Content?
Oh, a chat?
Which chat would you use?